Hi, this is Brian from Coastal Watercrafts, and you're listening to CHMA.
One 106.9 FM, Sackville, New Brunswick.
こんにちは。私たちはマッシースチューデントです。CHMA をお聞きいただきありがとうございます。
The time is 9 o'clock. You're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements. And we'll start off with some local briefs as provided to us by our community mentor and editor, Katie Tower. All 31 members of Sackville Fire and Rescue will be asked to participate in a workplace investigation in the coming weeks at the municipality of Tantramar as the municipality of Tantramar attempts to address issues firefighters say have been raised but largely ignored within the department. The municipality has hired Van Buskirk, Law of St. John, as an external investigator to conduct the workplace review, a move that was sparked by 12 local firefighters recently turning in their pages in an effort to bring attention to the seriousness of the concerns related to management, workplace safety, and harassment. The scope of the investigation will include interviewing the firefighters to look into any alleged violations of the workplace harassment and violence policy, any allegations of favoritism, any allegations related to a failure of leadership, any alleged inappropriate behavior that may or may not amount to harassment, and any overall conclusion of the workplace culture. No timeline has been announced for the investigation, but the municipality has stated it will provide updates as information becomes available. And when money is tight, managing your dollars can be a full-time struggle. If you're looking for ways to make better budgeting decisions in today's economy, the Southeast Regional Service Commission is hosting 3 upcoming sessions that can give people in the region tips and advice on making the most of what they have. The first of 3 free sessions will be online, and it happens this Tuesday evening, January the 20th, from 6 to 7 p.m. There's also an in-person session in English at Curl Moncton next Wednesday, January 28th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and a French session at the Shediac Multipurpose Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Thursday, January 29th. These sessions, called Debt, Dollars, and Discussions, will explore what's really behind budgeting, smart spending, and credit. Facilitators will discuss why budgets often fail and how to make one that works, spending decisions and unpacking how advertising shapes our choices, how credit scores and reports actually work, and how everyday habits impact your financial picture. You can contact Vicki Weaver at 506-269-8845 to register. Spaces are limited. And let's move on to some Atlantic updates here from the Canadian press. The chief of a First Nation in northwestern New Brunswick says the local RCMP detachment has been closed after a Mountie fatally shot a man in the community. The province's police watchdog is investigating the shooting at Nagukuk, also known as Tobaquik First Nation, near the province's border with Maine. The statement from Chief Ross Purley and council identified the deceased as Bronson Paul. Mounties say an officer was responding to a report of a domestic dispute when he used a stun gun to subdue a man armed with a edged weapon. Police say the officer had to fire his weapon when the stun gun proved to be ineffective. The police of Nova Scotia, the federal government, and the town of Amherst are investigating over $7 million in a 47-unit modular housing community. In a release, the province says the community will offer an ownership option for 28 units sold under a shared ownership model between the buyer and United Way Maritimes. The other 19 are expected to be affordable monthly rentals. The province is investing just over $4 million. Ottawa is putting down $2.35 million, and the town of Amherst is putting in roughly $640,000. New Brunswick's provincial government says this year's property assessment notices have been mailed to property owners. In a release, Service New Brunswick says most property owners will see their tax values remain unchanged from 2025. Local government minister Aaron Kennedy said the freeze is about providing stability and predictability for New Brunswickers while the property tax is reviewed. New Brunswick's overall assessment base rose 2.7% due to new construction and sales to $99.8 billion. And the Newfoundland government is expected to clean up the putrid fish sauce from the abandoned fish sauce plant in St. Mary's and carry out a temporary structural repair. In a social media post, the town council says they met with the provincial representatives yesterday who committed to funding to removal of the sauce while the town waits for a formal funding commitment from the federal government. The post says that once the sauce has been fully removed, they can make further decisions about the demolition of the plant. And police in eastern Newfoundland started a manhunt after a suspect allegedly broke into a home in St. John's on Friday, flashed a firearm, demanded cash, and fled in a vehicle. The Royal Newfoundland Constabulary says officers spotted the vehicle heading towards neighboring Mount Pearl, but officers ended the chase to ensure public safety. Later that night, the vehicle was found near Cochrane Pond, prompting police to issue a local emergency alert to warn residents to shelter in place. A police watchdog found a firearm nearby, and a 24-year-old suspect was arrested the next day at his home and now faces several charges. And finally, some PEI residents are being asked to scale back their electricity use during the coldest winter months. The city of Summerside launched a Beat the Peak awareness campaign aimed at reducing electricity use during peak times. The city says PEI's power grid, which relies on 2 subsea cables connecting the island to New Brunswick, is under stress. The city says even small changes like turning the temperature down a few degrees can be very helpful. And that is your CHMA Atlantic update. Let's take a quick look at some weather for you. Beautiful day out there today. The sun is shining bright. It was cold, but not too cold, but it was a nice morning coming in. Currently observed as -6. Wind chill says that it's around, it could feel like -12. For Tuesday, today, January the 20th, you can expect flurries ending this morning. Never happened here, so I'm guessing we're in the clearing part of the forecast right now. With the wind southwest 30 gusting to 50, a high of -4. As we mentioned, wind chill near -15. Tonight, partially cloudy, wind west 30 kilometers an hour, gusting to 50, low of -14. Wind chill -15 this evening and -25 overnight. For the 21st of January, mainly sunny. Increased cloudiness late in the afternoon. Wind west 20 kilometers an hour, high of -8. Wind chill -23 in the morning and -15 in the afternoon. Wednesday night, flurries, low of -9. And for Thursday, January 22nd, flurries with a high of -4. Thursday night, cloudy periods with a low of -9. For Friday, January 23rd, a mix of sun and cloud, high of -5. For Friday night, cloudy periods with a low of -15. A mix of sun and cloud on Saturday with a high of -15. Cloudy periods on Saturday night, low of -23. Sunday, the 25th, mix of sun and cloud, high of -14, low of -20 with cloudy periods on Sunday night. And a mix of sun and cloud again on Monday with a high of -12. So it's getting cold, going down to a -25 tonight and continuing that on Wednesday and again on Saturday. But no big snows forecast just yet. But there could be a chance through today into Thursday. But yeah, we are still deep into it, folks. It is definitely the deepest days of winter. Let's get a quick thank you from Craig Brett and get you your sports update.
Hi, this is Craig Brett expressing just how lucky we are in Sackville to have CHMA for diverse music, local info, and a whole lot more.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. And that's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports. That was not Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. I tell you, this machine sometimes, huh? Let's try this.
The U.S. college football playoff came to a culmination last night in Miami, Florida, where the number 1 ranked Indiana Hoosiers secure win their first national championship in football, having a perfect 16-0 season by defeating the number 10 seeded upstart Miami Hurricanes 27-21 on Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the States. That means there was 9 basketball games, starting with the early one in Atlanta. There, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Hawks 112-110. Thunder over the Cavaliers 136-104. Clippers defeat the Wizards in Washington by 4, 110-106. Mavs all over the Knicks in Madison Square Garden 114-97. It was the Spurs by 13 over the Utah Jazz at home. 76ers get by the Indiana Pacers 113-104. It was the Suns beating up on the Brooklyn Nets 126-117. Pistons squeak by the Boston Celtics in the Motor City 104-103. And finally, the Golden State Warriors turn down the heat on Miami. They defeat that squad 135-115. Full slate of games in the NHL as well yesterday. 10 games because of the holiday down south of the border. The Carolina Hurricanes defeat the Buffalo Sabres 2-1. The Avalanche defeat the Capitals in Denver 5-2. Penguins double up on the Seattle Kraken 6-3. The Sharks defeat the Panthers in Florida 4-1. Minnesota Wild travel to downtown Toronto and they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-3 final there. Flyers by 1 over the Golden Knights in Vegas 2-1 final there. Chicago shuts out Winnipeg 2-0. The Devils take the game from the Flames in overtime 2-1 final there. 4-3 for the Islanders over the Canucks, and it was the Anaheim Ducks with a 5-3 victory over the New York Rangers. Heading down to the bottom side of the globe, it was the Australian Open, seeing numerous Canadians eliminated from the first Grand Slam event of the year. This includes Gabriel Diallo of Montreal losing, Liam Draxel of Newmarket, Ontario, and number 7 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime having to withdraw from his first round match due to cramping. The only remaining man on the men's side was the 26-year-old Denis Shapovalov, the 21 seed, and on the women's side, Canadian Open Victoria Mboko advances to her second round, while Leylah Fernandez is eliminated from contention.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Brian Nielsen with your sports update. Tune in weekdays at 8:30. And, of course, Brian hosts Monday mornings here on The Voice of the Marshes. Right around now, we'd like to do some community updates and some let you know what's coming on. There's a lot going on these days. Everybody is back in their, I don't want to say offices, because a lot of people don't work in offices, but they're back on their keyboards, putting together things and organizing things and getting things in the right place. But first, let's take a quick swing over to the municipality. No big updates, but they did want to send out a big thank you to the folks that support their Grab a Seat campaign for 2025. They've listed all of the donors there, including their $10,000 sponsor, Compact Appliances. And it's a lovely list, long list, about 50 people and local businesses as well. So that's heartwarming and lovely to see. If you're interested in participating, you can go to tanchmarmb.com and get more information about that. And a couple of after school programs we talked about just before the 9 o'clock hour, but I'll run by quickly if you've got a young one that's looking for something to do. They have an after school homework help down at Bill Johnstone Park. It's going to run Thursdays from 3 to 5, and that starts up on February the 5th and it'll run until April the 2nd. And that is for grades 5 to 8 Marshview kids to help with numeracy and literacy. So they can sign up at tanchmarmb.com/programs. There's also over in Dorchester, Beavers and Cubs are invited to a free open gym on Wednesday nights at the Dorchester School Gym. That's ages 0 to 18, and that's free starting last week. Girls Empowerment Camp is for grades 5 to 8. Will take place at Bill Johnstone Memorial Park, and that is happening. I don't know the dates that they're happening, but you can get more information, of course, over at that same link, tanchmarmb.com/programs. And what else? The Trailblazers after school program from Salem and Dorchester, grades K to 4, February 2nd to April 1st. That'll be going for another winter season. So lots of after-school programming, and big thanks to the municipality for putting that all together. We're going to take a minute and run over to CHMAFM.com and take a look at a new addition to our stories. Big thanks to Thuy Lee, who is our community media intern right now, and putting together events coming up for the week. Got to tell you the truth, it's mostly for the host to have something to read about, but also for you, dear listener, dear reader, dear community member, to know what is happening throughout the week. Big things. So last night they had the Runda Casino, which I probably mispronounced. That is happening down at the Curling Club. It'll be continuing on other Mondays. If you missed last night, that's not the end of the world. I think you could probably still catch up. So just check that out. And then there's tomorrow night, Wednesday, VB, Vanessa Blackier, local artist, will be doing Maker Magic Shrink Plastic over at the Owens. That is 7 to 9, and session is free. All materials are provided. No registration is required. These special shrinking plastic. I'll start again. You draw on the special shrinking plastic and then watch them transform into the toaster ovens into tiny treasures that can become charms, keepsakes, and custom accessories. I never got to do that when I was a kid or as an adult, but I do remember seeing that and just thinking that it is they're pretty beautiful. It's such a nice process. Vanessa makes incredible ones. So check that out tomorrow night, 7 to 9 p.m. Tomorrow night also is Bagtown's Trivia Night. Just started up last week, and we think it's going on every Wednesday. I think that's the plan. If you know any different, if we're calling that out wrong, let us know. But pretty sure it's ongoing. It was last week, as far as we know. So, Ducky's Trivia, the on-again, off-again trivia, is on this Thursday, which means that the open mic on Saturday is not on. So let's keep up on that. And that is this Thursday. Ducky's is doing it at 7. Sackville Film Society Secret Agent over at the Amherst Theatre is going to be Thursday, January the 22nd, this Thursday. And Secret Agent. Opening at Strutt's Dirty Picture 2. And that's Friday, January 23rd. They're going to have the exhibition will run from the 23rd until April 15th. And there will be an artist talk and opening reception this Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. The artist will be in attendance. There's also a writer's open mic. It's back again, and that will be on Sunday, down as it usually is at the Bill Johnstone Memorial Park Center from 3 to 4 p.m. And coming up next week, Committee of the Whole meeting, January 26th, and that is the council meeting that happens at 3 in the afternoon on Mondays. So the whole bunch going down. If there's anything that we might have missed, just let us know. We have that page up at chmafm.com. If you subscribe to our weekday newsletters, you would have gotten it yesterday. And if you have anything you'd like to add to that, just let us know. Oh, I got one more. A Matter of Life and Death. The Sackville Cinematheque is up this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Owens Art Gallery. And that is, a classic film that, and of course, Sackville Farmers Market is up this Saturday as well. Okay, so there you go. A whole bunch of things going down. It is 9:18 in the morning, and this is the end of your CHMA news segment. I'm going to play the outro and then be right back with some great music for you. And that was your CHMA news. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantjamar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com. All right. We got some music from Barty Strange. Ain't nobody making me high. We got some Jody Peck with Break Your Heart and Reina Tropical with Tuvos, Tuvoz. We also have, getting us through the rest of the hour, some Margaret Glaspie with The Book of Love, some Sarah Danielle with Mother Tongue, and Lamping. We're going to actually, that Lamping Marcus Starling song, we've played it a fair bit, No Consolation, a beautiful song But we're going to put that one to sleep for a while because, because we got a lot of other great songs here to play too. We got some Danger Mouse and more with Wonder, and the Bros Landreth with Vincent. It's 9:20, and I'll be back again. I'll be back again before the end of the morning show at 9:30. This is Bartees Strange with Ain't Nobody Making Me High here on the Voice of the Marshes.
Live on KEXP brings you the very best of KEXP's world-renowned live, in-studio, and remote performances. Each week, they'll bring you a new live session from emerging artists to well-established acts spanning styles, genres, and cultures. Tune in on Sundays at 7 p.m. on CHMA 106.9 FM, the Voice of the Marshes.
Put your cards down on the table. You know I never tell a lie. And I'd change for you if I could. You know I would. Lay it all down on the line. You know there ain't nobody making me high. 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 I feel two-toned, I'm a demon. Had to travel all its life. When the devil went to Georgia, I was right there by his side. Ain't nobody making me high. Ain't nobody making me high. Ain't nobody making me high. Nobody but ain't nobody making me high. Nobody but ain't nobody making me
I can't tell you, there's no words enough. All of the ways that I love. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it floods. Sometimes it changes us. And when it changes us, I'm gonna break your
artist Jody Peck, also known as Miss Quincy. That's Break Your Heart, beautiful country tune. Yeah, that's going to be it for the morning show. It is 9:28 right now. I'm going to move on and get back into my other duties here at the Voice of the Marshes, but I will be back at 12 o'clock to give you your local briefs, Atlantic update, weather. Well, Enver will be up with the weather by 12, and of course we'll have a sports update and more community events and all those kinds of things. And of course, always, as is a standard, incredible music here on the Voice of the Marshes. Speaking of which, I have some Rena Tropical coming up with Two Voice, and Margaret Gillespie with The Book of Love, Sarah Danielle with Mother Tongue, Danger Mouse, more with Wonder, and getting us to 10 o'clock, the Brothers Landreth with Vincent, and maybe Balls and Pins too from Krugerben here on the Voice of the Marshes. Before I go, we're going to do a quick CHMA schedule update because a lot of folks are back on air. Reached out to Dave and Louisa. If anyone's running by Dave's Rock Emporium today, would you mind asking Dave if he's going to be jumping back on air with Louisa this afternoon? We sent out a couple notes just to confirm before we officially announced that they were back on for the winter season. No reason to think they wouldn't be, but Dave's such a nice guy to just drop in and say hi to anyway. Why not just do it? And we'll certainly let you know if Louisa gets back to us about the show. It's a super fun show. Typically it will be on Tuesdays from 2 to 3. We'll see how it goes. But otherwise, we coming up at 10 o'clock today, we have Free City Radio with Stefan Christoph. Then we have